Good morning, family. Rise and grind. Let's get up and get to it. Look, I just want to say real quick, man. I've been feeling real good these last couple of days. The first 2 days of the new year. Well, technically today is, but the end of the year going into the new year, I've been feeling pretty good. Been keeping my mindset right. I've been setting the goals for myself, and I've been knocking them out. Yesterday, I did my 385 pound deadlift. That's the 4 plates plus the 25 pound pole added. And I felt real good with that. I had been playing with the 300, 315, then I went up to like 350. I did that for like a week or so, and I'm like, you know what, let me push myself to get that 4th plate on there. So, I did it yesterday, knocked it out. I did it twice, 2 reps. So, moved on from that. I finally went and did my first stand-up since, open mic. Let me say it the proper term. Did my first open mic in the last almost 2 years. I'll say over a year and a half. It's been over that. So, I finally just mustered up the courage to do that. I had been kind of going back and forth. I was supposed to go a million times, especially the last few months. I've been contacting the guy who puts everything together and enters everybody in for the open mic. And the last few times I didn't hit him up, and I was supposed to come and all that. And I know he pretty much, I got to the point where he was like, you'll show up when you show up. I believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? And I finally popped up yesterday. I can tell he was kind of surprised. And, he was happy that I showed up. There was only about 5 people in the crowd, including him. So, and the bartender. So, it was cool though. Good thing it was a small crowd, because I can tell I'm a little bit rusty from being off for so long. And I didn't go over no material or nothing. I was just gonna go and fill out the vibes, chill, fill the atmosphere out, and then watch the other comics. But nobody else really came through, and he was the only one to go up. So he asked me like, hey, do you want to come up and do something? And I'm like, what the hell, ain't nobody else in here. It's only us few. So excuse me, I went ahead and did that. And it at least felt good. I got a few chuckles, so I'm satisfied with that. But it at least felt good to know that I stepped back out of my comfort zone, and one of my comfort zones, and got back up there on stage again. No matter if it was 5 people or 50 or 500, whatever it was, I still got out there, and finally did it. Stop making excuses and stop, I was just gonna chill, for the rest of the night. I kind of had one of those moments where, you have one pant leg on and one off, and you kind of procrastinating to get dressed, and you low-key don't want to leave out. It was past 7 o'clock, so I'm like, maybe next week. Let me do next week. You know what I mean? I go over my material, get everything ready, and just go fresh next week. But I'm like, no, you know what? If I keep doing that, if I do it again, then I'm gonna keep doing that. You know what I mean? So it was like a now or never kind of thing for me. So I finally just went ahead and did it, man. Got dressed. I'm not a night driver, so that's the one thing I don't like, driving. I just prefer driving during the day. I can see everything a lot better. You know what I mean? Got better chances of successfully defensively driving against these crazy drivers out here. So I just like driving in the day a lot better. I feel just for safety precautions is, a lot better for me to drive during the day as opposed to night. But, I put all that aside, and I just went, I drove a little slow. It's a little bit of slush and snow out here on the roads. And I can tell the plows probably came through once or twice, but it was still snowing for a little while. So, a little bit of snow kind of still accumulated on the ground. So I drove nice and slow, you know what I mean? Of course, had my lights on, and, if somebody wanted to feel the need for speed and I was going too slow, I just let them go around me, you know what I mean? Let them do what they do. But yep, I got there safely, finally did that. That's one thing that I feel good about, and I'm gonna just keep going. Like I said, I definitely know that I got some work to do, man. I gotta knock the rust off. It's just with repetition, you know what I mean? Building back up that consistency, going week by week, day by day or whatever. Yeah, I know I'll get it down more, come up with better material, know how to, line up my jokes as far as, my segues and stuff going into the next joke, and kind of doing stuff on the fly. If I forget where I'm at, just kind of come up with another topic or something, I've been thinking about. Because I kind of had a couple of moments where I had like almost kind of like a writer's block thing, or just like I went blank for a minute, you know what I mean? And I kind of just had to go into something else. But I did it to where it wasn't super noticeable that I forgot where I was, even though it was like a moment where I glitched. And I damn near just wanted to give up, but I'm like, no, man, just finish it out. You know what I mean? So I finished out, a few seconds, just closed the joke up and was like, I appreciate it. I let everybody know this is my first time being back, you know what I mean, for a little while. So, I know I'm rusty, but I'll be better next time. I just kind of closed it out like that. And, I still got, got my hand claps and praise, people saying, it was good that you just went up there, you know what I mean? Some people, wouldn't go up there because of the stage fright or because they haven't done it in a while, you know what I mean? Or, whatever it was, so I still stuck it out. I was a trooper and just continued to go with it, man. I know it happens, it happens to the best of, comedians out there. The greats have went through it, bombing on stage or, just kind of started off not so good until they, like I said, went through that consistency and that got the flow down, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not letting that stop me for sure. That's just kind of motivating me. Okay, all right, step it up a little bit, keep going with it. That just shows, like they say, proper preparation prevents piss poor performance kind of thing. So I hope I didn't spit too much, but yeah, that was one of the things that I'm telling you, I have been battling with that for a while, man. And I'm glad I finally went through it. So now it's like, okay, it's real, because this year I'm really putting more effort and time towards the things that I want to happen for myself. Not just my dreams, but even my short-term goals and aspirations for just this year alone and for beyond. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling it, man. I'm doing good in the gym, just in life with my mentality, physical wise. Yesterday was the first day, the first day of the year. That was the first day. I haven't had a bunch of snacks. I've been stuffing myself with snacks the last couple of weeks, regardless of going to the gym, so now I'm moving more so towards like the healthy snacks and stuff. I always try to get my fruit in, even when I was eating a lot of snacks or drinking soda here and there, whatever. I still got my fruit in and stuff, and drinking tea here and there, warm water, stuff to kind of help with my digestive system and all that. And other stuff to boost my metabolism so I can kind of, release some of that extra stuff that I've been taking in. So, yeah, man, just stay on it, keep pushing yourself when things don't go the way you want it, or it feels like, you didn't do as good as you thought you was going to do. Don't let that slow you down. Just let it motivate you to, put more work in and push yourself to get that result that you do want. You know what I mean? Because next time it might be 2 times as better than you thought or what you wanted it to be in the beginning. So, like even yesterday when I did that lift, I was going to just do it once. I had somebody spot me, and 2 guys ended up spotting me. They ended up, just standing on one side of, each side of the weight or whatever of the bar. And, they was prepared to help. And I told them, like, I just got to get it up once, just the most I done did. So, I'm going to bend down, push it up once. If it look like I can't get it up there after a few seconds, you know what I'm saying, then y'all assist. But I pushed, and it was pretty easy on the first one. I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I got it in me to do one more. And then I went down and did another one. Now, mind you, this is 385 pounds. So, it definitely was some weight for sure. But a little lighter, just a little bit lighter than I expected. So I went ahead and pushed it twice. But on that second one, I'm like, okay, You know, I'm really feeling it because I had already did 3 sets before that. I think I started off with like a 45 and a 25 on each side. Then I moved up to 2 45s and a 25. Then it was 3 45s and a 10. And then I went to just the 4 45s. So, you know, I like to do mine, you know, start off with a light warm up. Then you keep building up. The more you go up in weight, the less reps you do. So, you know, I did it like that. And then I'm like, okay, after I did the 3 45s and a 10, I'm like, I ain't even going to do the 3 45s and a 25. I'm going to just go straight to the 4 45. So, yeah, man, it felt great. So that just motivated me even more to do some things that I've been wanting to do, and, you know, to tack some other goals on my list, and, you know, just get down to it, man. Stump down on it and don't slack up, and no more excuses, man. No more excuses, man. We got to get out here, get it done. Let's have a good year. It ain't going to be flawless. You know what I mean? And it ain't going to be without sacrifice or without difficulty. So just, you know, prepare yourself as much as you can to handle that, because the higher up we move, that's more of a challenge it's going to become. So y'all just take that in, man. Those my wise words for the day. Thank y'all for everybody who been viewing my channel, who been subscribing. I'm going to continue to build it. I'm just doing it regular right now on my phone. I got to get, you know, some more updated equipment, a more updated phone, and even a camera eventually I'm gonna move into for my content. You know, I just got to get right, you know, financially, but right now I'm starting where I'm at right now. So yeah, I appreciate everything, man. Y'all keep y'all heads up. We're gonna keep grinding together, man. I appreciate y'all going through the process with me as I'm moving on up, man, out here. And I'm gonna be starting another channel. I don't have a name for it yet, but it's gonna be with my comedy stuff, because I do comedy. I've been like posting videos just strictly on IG and Facebook, Quintrell Boyles on Facebook, and Rooftop Red on Instagram. You know, going with, you know, this channel, obviously, the Rooftop TV. So yeah, Rooftop Red Instagram. My name, Quintrell Boyles, on Facebook. I have 2 of those pages. The one where I'm wearing this hoodie here, the green, is my comedy page. And the other one, I just kind of do like motivational content, day-to-day stuff, positivity, sharing quotes, sharing pictures, videos, and all that stuff. Just, you know, going through the casual people I communicate with, mostly family and like friends on that page. So, you know, it's 2 of them. That's Quintrell Boyles, but, you know, you'll know when you see which is which. So peace and love, everybody. Let's get out here. Y'all be safe. Happy New Year again, and let's keep going, baby. Peace.